Welcome to Crystal Clear Talk with psychic medium Lewis Mabee. Now, here's your host.
Hey, Lewis.
Hey, John.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Just working under pressure here.
Working on some technical issues. You know
Yes.
we're live.
But we are live, and I see our folks coming in, and thank you so much for
Yay.
joining us.
Hey, everyone.
Excited to have you here with us. And I see Jason in there. I see
Hey,
Georgia, Robin. Excellent.
And happy summer solstice, everyone. Hey, Tisha, how was your trip to the Rockies? Hey, Barb. Welcome to Summer Solstice Day for everyone up here in the Northern Hemisphere. And I guess it's autumn or winter. No, winter for the Southern Hemisphere. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Georgia. Perfect. Yeah, we were having some technical difficulties with the video delay. And so John finally fixed it. And so we're good to go. So again, thank you for tuning in again for another live chat on Facebook. And we have some really cool stuff coming up this hour. We're talking all about pets in heaven. And oh, we have no audio. Is it just me, Tisha? Looks good now. Okay, good. So maybe we're still probably working out some glitches here. So John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay.
Folks, just let us know if you hear us and everything is good, because we're using a different platform that's going through Facebook Live, and we want to make sure everything is working smoothly. Just give us a like if you can hear us, and let us know in the comments.
Jason says he can hear us. That's
excellent. All right, great.
So, and before Cleo, my cat, she was sitting up here, and I was hoping that she was going to stay there. But of course, because I started talking about her with John while we were doing the testing, I said her name, and so she had to come, and now she's like kind of beside me. So if you,
there she is. Oh, how cute.
She's just taking a cat nap like she always does. And so anyway, so today we're doing pets in heaven and messages that, thanks Nancy, and messages that they have for us. A lot of people through my years as a psychic medium have often asked about their passed on four-legged critter, and hey Mandy, and four-legged loved one, or even two-legged, because I used to actually have a African gray parrot named Boomer, and some people that might have known me back then might remember Boomer. And unfortunately, Boomer, he was a larger than normal African gray, and he was very, very strong. Unfortunately, about 21, 22 years of age for him, he had a heart attack. He was climbing the side of his cage, and he just boop. And so that was the end of Boomer. And if anyone knows about African grays, they can live up to be about 70 or 80 years old. So unfortunately, he died fairly young, and I miss him dearly. I remember shortly after him being gone, yeah, Tisha, you remember, and yeah, so does Nancy. Shortly after, I would walk by where his cage was, and I like, "Good morning, Boomer. You're not here anymore." But then I would tune in, and his energy was there. And just like humans that pass away, animals and pets also have a different vibration energy, but their energy is still able to be felt and sometimes even heard for humans on this side, on Earth. And when pets transition to the other side, a lot of people ask me what's it like over there for humans, and it's very similar to what thanks Jason, it's very similar to what we've described for humans. There's think of like the bluest of blue skies that you've ever witnessed, and then magnetize or amplify that by 10, and that's what the sky is like. In fact, and John just posted a picture by an artist. What's the artist's name again, John?
Jim.
Yes. And Jim's interpretation of what the heavens are very similar to what I see when I actually astral travel to the other side. And anyway, so I remember I was reading an article a long, long time ago from a psychic who I won't name, and she's no longer with us though. And this person said that there's quadrants in heaven, or the other side, or whatever you want to call it. And the animals live in one quadrant, the humans live on in another quadrant, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's never been my experience. How I've always been seeing whenever I go to the other side is that everything cohabitates, because we don't need space. We're energy beings now, and so we don't need these quadrants to live in and not to cross paths, because we did on here on earth. Why wouldn't we do it in heaven? So the energies from our animals and our pets and anyone else over there intermingle, and they really do a good job with taking care of us still on here on the other side, on this side. And there's often times where babies do this with both human energy and animal energy. Usually when a baby looks up to the ceiling at nothing, there's usually a presence there that we can't see, but the baby can see, because the baby doesn't have that veil that differentiates between our world and the other side. And likewise, if a baby is looking down at the floor or down at a lower level, and you've had a pet that has passed away, that's usually that pet. And oftentimes that pet that's passed away, excuse me, I have a little bit of allergies, so it's affecting my throat. So that pet will often come around the newborn or the young baby and will protect him, just like as if he or she were alive still with us. Excuse me. Another something so a baby can really feel like that energy from a pet. And because I always say this, I think our species as humans are quite inferior towards animal energy. Animal energy works on, they got it. They work on one thing, love. That's it. They focus on unconditional love, and they don't get wrapped up with all of our human emotions. And when you're sick, your pet used to come close to you. Like, I know if I'm not feeling well, Cleo's all over me, and just to absorb that energy from me so that I feel better. And I know many out there have had the same experience. Animals remain animals, and they never become humans. So I want to bring that out, because many times people ask me, well, do they reincarnate? Yes, they do reincarnate. Absolutely 100% do they. They'll come back down and reincarnate if that's what they choose to do. But they don't come back down as a human. And they don't come back down if you have a dog, they don't come back down as a spider. They will remain within their subspecies of whatever animal they are. And that's the beauty of what the pets are about, is because they're here not only living with us, helping us, but on the other side, they're also being able to help us and guide us and protect us from, us making silly decisions like humans often do. I think animals are more advanced than what we are. I think that because they vibrate on that love and that love frequency, that they're more interested in our well-being than what we are for our own well-being. And so that's one of the beauties of having a pet, because that energy will translate into a happiness. And I know a few of you already on here, and I don't want to point anyone out if they feel uncomfortable, but I know with Keisha, Tisha has a beautiful dog that's still living with us. And oh, can you fix that, John? My audio. And again, if you're just joining us now, we're testing a new platform, and so we're going through the trials and tribulations of trying to figure everything out. So thank you for staying with us and getting through this with us with ease. I don't know, John, can you hear me? I'll just keep talking, and hopefully it will just get corrected.
Yes, I do hear you. I don't know if my audio is breaking up, but yours is for some reason. Folks, let us know if there's a difference, because if there is, then I can go ahead and reset Lewis, bring him back up, and hopefully that will correct his audio. So let me know if I'm coming in clear.
You're coming for me.
I am. Okay, yeah, you're breaking up. So let me bring you back up on stage in just 1 second and see if that clears it up. Okay, let's just try that. Okay, go ahead and
right.
No? Still acting up for you. Yeah. That's very strange.
Again, sorry for
there we go.
Oh,
there we go.
We're here?
Clear it up, yeah.
Okay, good.
Hey, you're the medium, so I think it's the spirit activity that's affecting the microphone because I'm coming in clear. So
yeah, it's Boomer. He's helping me.
There you go.
For sure.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So with any, I don't want, and again, I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but I know Tisha, for example, I know her, and I know that Tisha has a beautiful dog that's still living with us, Lucy, and Lucy has some challenges, and Lucy's had some challenges early on in Lucy's life, but the joy that Lucy's able to bring not only to Tisha, but to Tisha's family is just beautiful. And I've met Lucy several times, and Lucy's still quite inquisitive and very making sure that Tanya, just curious if you can sense any animals with me too. And we're going to get to those questions in a second, Tanya. So just hang on. I'm almost done my little presentation kind of thing. And then we're going to open it up for questions, which is why everyone tunes in, I know. But thank you for putting out there. But yeah, there's two, and put yourself in the queue, Tanya, because we'll get to you.
Yes, we will.
So with our loved ones that have passed away, as far as our furry friends go, they are going to be able, they are in heaven, they are connected to you still. Yes, just like humans, sometimes you can feel them, sometimes you can't, but that's okay if you can't feel them, because it's all about connection and memory. And when we have a memory of, especially if it's a happy memory or a happy event with our loved ones, our furry loved ones, that is them connecting to us. It's they work very much like human connection, human spirit connection, where if we start thinking about whoever randomly that's passed away, that is them actually connecting to us and just popping in saying, hey, how are you? And so always trust your instincts when it comes to connecting with your pets that's passed on and that sort of thing. So I like that. John?
Yes?
We were going to do a giveaway from last video.
Yes.
And we want to talk about that first because, thank you again for everyone that has shared and liked. Unfortunately, with Facebook, Facebook hides some of the comments and hides some of the shares. So we can't see every single comment that people have made. And that's just the way Facebook's designed it. So what John and I have thought about doing, because we want to continue giving and we want to continue encouraging you to keep joining us, we're posting this to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/LewisMabee. And if you subscribe, like, and share through that, and you could actually copy the link from YouTube and post it on Facebook, that's going to give you some points towards what we've come up with next as far as our giveaway goes. So Do you have the names, John?
I do. I sure do. In fact, let's try.
Hi, Natalia.
Let's try to bring up the list here and show it to everybody, and then they will be able to see that we're going to try to spin the wheel, actually.
Okay. Yes, John has his wheel, and he's going to spin it with the names that we've been able to collect through the comments and the shares and the likes. And again, the recap from last time is that I'm going to be providing healing session for the winner. And it doesn't matter if you live near me. I can do an astral healing session with you, which means I can do it through the phone. You don't even have to be on the line if you don't want to. It's very effective. I do a lot of healing like that internationally. I have a lot of clients from Greece and France, even Australia, that and in the States that do this. So it works. Spin the digital wheel. Yes, Jason.
Yeah, we're going to spin the digital wheel of all the people that we were actually able to track who shared the video as we suggested. And so let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to spin the wheel. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Do you guys see the wheel?
No.
Okay, so hopefully you will be seeing this wheel in 2 seconds. Adding it right now. All right.
There was the wheel. There's the wheel.
All right, here we go. And I'm going to spin it. You see all the names? Here we go. Let's see who's going to be the winner.
Who's going to be the lucky winner?
And it is almost Vera
Bergman. Yay, Vera. Yay, Vera. I'm going to be contacting you, Vera, and we'll be setting up a healing session together. Thank you so much for tuning in last time. And again, with everyone that's tuning in now, we have about 21 people that are listening right now. You do have an opportunity for our next contest. Is it contest, John? Is that a good word for it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
right.
Yeah, it's a raffle, if you want to call it that. People aren't buying tickets, but yeah. So it's just you share the love, and Lewis will reward one of the ones that we pick on the wheel next week.
So do you want to tell them what this week's raffle is, or do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead and tell them, because I'm getting the next thing ready for you.
Okay, so I have a service called the Ultimate Service. It's a 2-hour psychic medium reading with me, and anyone that books that session, in the month of August, because I will be, John, we can still see your screen, by the way. I will be away for most of July. So for the month of August, anyone that books that ultimate service with me, it can be through phone, it could be in person, or it could be through video conferencing. So no matter where you are in the world, you can still have a session with me. You will receive $50 off. And all you got to do is when you fill out your information to book your session, it says gift certificate. All you got to do is just write Pets in Heaven or something to that effect, pets. And I will know that I will give you $50 off for the month of August. So August 1st to the 31st, and depending on availability of when my schedule permits. But so go check out what that service is all about. Again, it's a 2-hour service with me, and we will be we'll be able to offer that to many, many people. Now, in the spirit of having what we just did with Vera as the winner, I'm going to do another healing session for one lucky person. And again, how to be qualified to put your name into the draw, and your name can go in several times depending on how many times you're going to post and share to your social media pages. So once the video is up and you can do this with Facebook as well, but just know that Facebook might not we may not be able to see your comment or like or share with Facebook, but if once the video is up, and I can tell you through my website, but once the video is up on my YouTube channel, go there, subscribe to it, like it, share it, and then comment below that you liked and shared, and that will put your name into the draw for the next time. And actually, next week I'll be doing another broadcast before I leave on vacation for July.
Excellent.
And so if you want a teaser, it's with astrologer and numerologist Sharita Starr, and
Yeah.
she will be discussing with me how to prepare yourself for the next Mercury in retrograde, which is happening in August, or August the 5th, I believe is when it starts. But there's a wrap up towards the yay, Susan! I'm so happy that you're able to do this live. There's also a precursor towards August 5th, where there's 2 weeks of Mercury in retrograde coming towards us, and that can also affect. And trust me, people, this Mercury in retrograde, this summer one, is going to be a doozy. It's all about communication. So tune in for next Wednesday for that, and we'll be posting stuff with information about that. There's also information on my website, lewismabee.com. If on the main page, if you scroll down to where the blog section is, you'll see all of the videos that we've done, and you'll see the upcoming videos that we've booked so far. And so therefore you can follow that as well. But we'll be posting stuff through my newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter yet, please sign up on my website at the bottom right hand of the front page, and you'll be able to get all the information of when the next broadcast is and what the topic is going to be about.
Cool.
John, you have a cat, right?
I do, and I don't know if you heard her in the background, but she started to want to be part of the broadcast. So.
Perfect. Now, do you have any pets that have passed away, John?
Growing up, sure, but not since I've been on my own, like my own, adulthood. But no.
Have you had any kind of experience with any kind of pets, even through your childhood or through a friend that they've kind of like asked you about? Because you're quite intuitive yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have had pets come through sometimes before people come through, because the pets usher the way in for the people, and I think that's a really cool thing. And again, pets are unconditional love, so
Absolutely.
A lot of times we have a stronger connection to them than we do some people. So,
yeah, that's for sure. And there was something that I've seen or saw on Facebook about it was a while ago, but it was about a pet or a dog actually, and it was abandoned and it was left in some sort of storage drain, and they rescued this pet or this dog and brought it to a shelter, and the shelter nursed it back to health, and the before and the afters are just amazing. But yet this dog was still able to love.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, we as humans would never do that.
Yeah.
Like we would hold a grudge.
You're right.
And even like with our pets that have passed away, a lot of times, because unfortunately we have to put our pets down for health or medical reasons, a lot of times I get the questions about like, I feel guilty. Like how are they? Like, do they hold me responsible? And I don't think I've ever had a single pet that has come through for me have ever not said thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for finally being able to say to me, or to say that now's the time. I'm ready. Me, the human, I'm ready to let you go.
Yeah.
Because like our pets are so incredibly loving, and even at their worst with illness and sickness, and they're ready to transition, they will hang on until we're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And there are unfortunate events, like for example, a pet being hit by a car or whatever. But the medical ones that they do tend to hang on as long as possible, so that we are more capable of saying goodbye. But even when they are being put down, I've never had a pet come through that has never been grateful and thank you. And most of the times it's thank you for your time. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for being my owner, you
Yeah.
know. And another thing with pets I find quite interesting, just like humans will try to give us signs like knocks and all that sort of thing, and we we recognize that as, oh, that's dad or that's mom or that's grandma, grandpa, whatever. Pets will do the same thing with their toys, and they usually go after toys, or they'll usually come back and try to do a habit uh, of what they used to do when they were alive with us. Like, for example, if they scratch at the door a lot to get attention, you'll
Hmm.
hear a scratch on the door, and yet you know for a fact that there's no one or nothing at the door. And so the pets will mimic oftentimes what they did when they were with us alive on Earth. If they had a favorite red ball, that and you haven't thrown it out or you hadn't put it away or donated or whatever, and it's just lying in the corner kind of thing, often or sometimes you might find that that ball has moved or has traveled across the room when you wake up. And it's very like they do want to communicate with us. um, Fortunately for me, I don't have to worry about speaking dog or speaking cat or speaking fish, because the way that I'm able to channel uh, animals is that they their speak gets translated for me into English. Just like, for example, if I have someone that doesn't speak English, a human, and they come to me and ask me how they're, or they do, but for example, their grandparent lived in a different country, never spoke English. That grandparent that they want me to connect to will speak in their native tongue, but I translate it. I'm able to hear it into English. So
Wow.
animals are the same thing. They can woof or meow all they want, but
Yes.
by the time that it reaches my inner ear, it's English for me.
Huh. That's really
And
cool. And don't they communicate through telepathy
absolutely,
and pictures, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, for sure. Oh, look at this one.
There she is.
There she is. And so with a lot of times with when I do channeling or mediumship with animals
Yeah.
and they're speaking to me, like they're telling me stories just like a human spirit would tell me. And oftentimes, and one of the things that I'm able to do is to go through the death experience that they went through, and so therefore I can just make sure that they didn't leave anything undone or unsaid or anything else like that.
Hmm.
And especially with pets, when they've transitioned, they're very good at giving me the details of what they were feeling. For example, if they were being put under or if they're being put down, they can tell me quite clearly of how they were feeling. And most of the times it's about relief. It's about, my journey with you is over as far as the physical goes, but I'm able to continue this journey with you. And yet I feel like sometimes pet energy can be one of the hardest energies to feel for people that aren't used to feeling that energy, only
Hmm.
because they vibrate on a much higher level than what humans vibrate or human souls vibrate on. And so we're not as in tune with them. We are in tune with them, but it's kind of like a dog whistle. Only dogs can hear it. That's what it's like for pet energy. So that's why some people say, "Yeah, I can't feel them. I want to, and I should, but I can't." And that's the reason why. Is because their vibration is much higher of a frequency than what human vibration or human soul energy is. So don't worry if you can't, because many people can't. But yeah. So do we want to open this up for a little bit
Yeah,
of
let's do that.
questions?
Yeah, and I had earlier on the screen for folks, if they want to join you on stage for a reading, they use the link that's there. It's a Google short link, so you just copy and paste that and put that in your browser, and it will allow you to come up on stage. We'll see you here in the waiting room, and then we'll put you on stage for a sample reading with Lewis. And we do have a couple people who are waiting for reading, so let's get our first one up on the air. We have Andrea. Let's get Andrea up here. All right, we're notifying her, and soon you will see her. All right,
Hey,
so hi, Andrea.
Hey, can you hear me?
We do hear you.
Do you see me?
We can see you and hear you.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I actually have my beautiful kitty here.
Nice. Hello, Kitty. What's Kitty's name?
His name is Randy.
Randy. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Georgia, USA.
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for everything you do for these beautiful. How you talked about they are, and so did you, how they're so much higher than us. They get it. We are their pets, basically. We are lucky that they chose us to feed them.
I agree.
Yeah. So my question to you is, I am, and so is Randy, living proof that what you do heals. He had a degenerative root disorder in his mouth, and he couldn't eat, and he whined all the time, and we couldn't figure it out. And it was a simple thing, and it happened like this when the friend that I had did this. And I wondered, for you, do you can you see an animal on the street, not necessarily have someone come to you and say, I need help with my cat, but can you visually see a problem within an animal out there in the world and just be able to heal a wild animal?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I've gone to several horse sanctuaries and have done work with horses that were on their way to the glue factories. They've been broken and that sort of thing. And I've actually had a few people bring their pets in for healing as well. And so randomly on the street, I don't want to say it's a curse, but there's so much neglect out there. And when I see animals on the street, it's like laser focus. It's like a magnet, and all of a sudden it's like whoosh. It's like their energy. It's not demanding, but yet it's so physical for me that I can't stop but pay attention. Now, I may not physically stop because, as many people know, and if you don't know, you're about to, energy doesn't have boundaries. And so just like I do my astral healing, I don't need to be in the same room as you.
Right.
And so with animals that are on the street, either they're homeless or they're not being looked after properly, definitely I can sense their inflictions and their mental well-being. And I just like I do, like, for example, if I'm in a shopping mall and I just know that someone is either upset or cranky or angry or sad or whatever, I'll just shoot them energy. And John, we're having some audio issue again.
Yeah, I heard that. So let me put you down and bring you back up. Maybe that.
Is there anything that we can do as the people out here that continue to help the animals?
Yes, love. Focus on love. Focus on loving yourself first. And I know that's sounds so cliche-ish, but it's so true. Doesn't. We need more love than ever before. And so by focusing on love and focusing on love intention with yourself, it's like a mirror, and you're going to amplify that and send that into the cosmos. And so you don't have to be a healer. You don't have to be tagged as a healer. You can heal just simply by breathing and walking. And that's what that's what I think anyone should want to do or choose to do, is just share some of your loving, passionate energy with someone or an animal. Even trees, even cars.
Right.
I remember that, and I know this is a little bit off topic from animals, but I was coming home with a friend who was driving from a Christmas party, and we got behind this car. And hang on to that, Georgia, because I want to talk about that. And we got behind this car, and I said to my friend, I said, we got to get away from this car. We got to get away from this car because there's just something about this energy that I just don't like. And he knows me well enough, and he sped up and went around, and we were listening to the radio and all that sort of thing, and like a flash news came on. Like we were about maybe half an hour out from after that, but if the news came on and there was an accident behind us. And I don't know for sure if it was that car or not, but that was just giving me the heebie-jeebies. So
well, yes, I agree with you. It is all about intention, and yeah, I can understand. It must be a lot of pressure for you out there in the world because there's so many. And so what I try to do for my own self, for people like you who do so much for them, is include them in every prayer and every thought and everything that I do, because they don't have a voice. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your question and your comments. I love it. And for doing a video with me.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure.
Wonderful.
I'm enjoying this. Your energy is amazing. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your night, and thanks for listening and tuning in.
Sure.
John, there was a comment from Georgia about animals following her, I think, or something to that effect.
Yes, and I see it. Do you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she says, everywhere I go, animals always approach me and want to be petted. Horses, cats, dogs is interesting. Now that I think of it, and as odd as it is, what do you think?
That's not odd at all. I have, when I do my house parties, for example, there's been quite a few times where there's animals, there's pets, but these pets are like one family pets or one person kind of pets. And sometimes when those pets are like that, people, the owner will ask me, I hate using the word owner because we shouldn't own a pet. We love our pets.
Right.
But the food giver will ask me, the companion will ask me, like, are you okay with a dog? Or usually it's dog, because dogs tend to be a little bit more aggressive that way. But I'm like, no, not a problem. And they're like, or that she's had a really bad experience. She's really skittish around males. And, I'm sitting there, and next thing you know, she's licking my hand. And it's the intention, it's the energy. And so if you're doing good, and if you're being good, and you're throwing out good positive energy, that animal will respond. And that's why, Georgia, they want to come up to you and be a part of your energy, is because you're putting out some good vibrations. And so keep that up, because you're paying it forward on so many levels. By having a contact with a pet and being able to, are there certain people pets are drawn to, and why? Are there certain people pets are drawn to? I'm not quite sure what she's meaning. But once you, for example, pet an animal. I'm sorry, I'm just reading Rachel's comment. Can you cue her up as well, Joey?
Yeah, I will. Mm-hmm. And you were cracking up again, Louis. I wonder what's going on. I think anytime, are you really... I don't know. If I'm clear, something's going on with spirit activity on your end. So let's see. I'm going to bring you down, and we'll bring you back up and see what happens. Okay?
Thanks for the patience, guys.
Okay. All right. Let's
keep paying that forward, Georgia, because when you pet an animal, that you transfer energy, and that pet or that animal will go to another human or another animal and transfer that energy as well. So you're sending and giving love, you're going to be able to receive love as well. So keep that up. People, like, I know people that love snakes, or they want a reptile, or, I had an African gray parrot. I think it's what resonates with anyone. And and having a preference is more along the lines of maybe just a personal thing. I mean, when I went, I adopted Cleo from the Humane Society in Canada, and I only went there only to see if I wanted to get an animal, to have a companion. And because of my lifestyle and all that sort of thing, I knew I didn't want a dog because dogs didn't fit my lifestyle, but a cat would. And so Cleo was like 7 of 7 cats that I picked out, and they put you in this little room, and they bring in the pets one by one, or the animals one by one. And the first 6 till they ignore me. There was a drain on the floor. They were all fascinated by this drain. And so that was, okay, good. So Cleo came in, and she looked around the room. I was sitting on a bench. She looked at the drain, kind of went towards it, but then focused on me, got up on the bench, and got up on my shoulder. I said, well, I guess I'm adopted. And that's what happened. So, and I let it happen organically. Like, I know there's some people that are like, I want a pet. But the pet also has to adopt you, I think, on some level. And most times, it's very intuitive without us needing to be intuitive of how we come together. So I hope that helps out a little bit. I'm struggling, Rachel has a comment. I'm struggling on whether or not I should put my dogs to sleep. How do I know if she's in pain or suffering? She has good days and bad days, don't want to do the wrong thing. So first of all, animals have a higher pain tolerance threshold than us humans do. And so even though they might look aspirated, or they might look tired and be tired and not being as mobile as what they once were, most times they don't have the same pain sensors as we do. So their pain is a little bit different than our pain, of how we process pain. Their pain is more about how they process pain is more about, yes, they feel it in a physical sense, but it's more like I have a sore arm, as a human would. Like, my arm's sore, that's kind of like how they have their pain. It's like when we break our leg, it's excruciating. Like, have you ever seen an animal that has had something excruciating, like a broken leg, how it doesn't necessarily react the way that we would react? Yes, it feels it. Yes, it goes through those emotions, but their tolerance towards the pain has a healing effect to it. And so therefore, that healing effect doesn't amplify the pain sensors like it does with us humans. So as long as your dog, and again, you're going to have to go with your own conscience here, but as long as your dog looks and feels comfortable, and yes, good days and bad days, like we all do, like all pets do, but your dog, your loved one, will tell you when it's time. And the problem is that even though our animals will tell us that it's time, we're still not ready to let go. And we tend to sometimes keep them with us longer than what they need to be with us. And so I think the benchmark for me, and this is just the way I personally think, I'm not a doctor or professional of any means that way, but if Cleo were to ever get ill, me, myself, I would go, what's the quality of her life? Is she able to still jump on my bed or get up on my sofa? Is she still able to go feed herself? Is she making it to her bathroom? Are these functions still happening? That would be my benchmark. That would be something that I would look at for her to see what quality of life that I'm providing for her. We're having some issues again, John, with my audio.
Yeah, so, I know, and I'm not understanding why that's happening, because I think I'm coming in clear, and it just happens in and out with you for some reason. But you hear me okay?
I hear you fine, yeah.
And you're fine now. So okay. It's so bizarre.
You know what? This happens quite a bit when I'm doing video conferencing with people, just because of energy.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm tuned in, like I am right now with getting messages and that, it's the frequency. So
yeah, I remember you telling me that before we started working together. You're like, anything could go wrong technically, because when I start connecting to spirit, it's going to affect, the electromagnetic field, I think is what you had said.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I remember you saying that whatever you touch technically just sort of goes crazy. So Mercury retrograde, you're just out.
I can break a computer turned off.
Oh, wow. Well, let's get to some of these questions that
Mm-hmm.
that were pending, and some people who were making some comments. So do you see this one? It's a very long one.
Yep.
Asking for my mom. Her old cat passed away 1.5 years ago. Dinah was an exceptional cat for my mom and came in a time my mom needed her in December 2016. Mom adopted another cat, which is fulfilling the humor part in mom's life, which is missing, but Judy, the new cat, does some strange things that's making us both laugh. My mom, Faith, is wondering if Dinah is coming through and playing with Judy or is teasing her.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put the question back up again?
Sure. It's just going to block your face.
Okay, hang on. I just need to find out the original cat's name.
Sure. Dinah, I think.
Dinah,
yeah.
Okay, so Dinah, like she was in her life, Dinah was a comedian. And she still has that comedic tendencies. And because the new cat that your mom has now, Tui, is a little bit more, I'm going to say serious, but not in a serious kind of way, but just serious, where it's kind of like more predictable cat. Dinah is someone that is the one that would be like, if the two cats were together, Dinah would be the one that would be walking past the other cat and go and just smack, just because Dinah could. Mm-hmm. So Dinah's still doing that even from the other side. So the new cat, yes, is humorous and all that sort of thing. It has kitty-like tendencies, but again, it's kind of like a predictable thing. Like, it's almost like, okay, there she goes. She's getting into her, crazy cat hour kind of vibe, where Dinah was a little bit more unpredictable and would just be sleeping, and all of a sudden, boom, and off she would bolt somewhere and do something crazy. So she's definitely still around your mom, Faith, Tui. So
great.
Yeah.
All right. And Rachel says, thank you, Louis. You really helped me understand the quality of life and when the time is right.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Rachel. And then Karen is asking, I put my pug down in May. Is he all right?
What's the pug's name, Karen?
Karen, could we get the name, please? And in the meantime, while we're waiting on that, earlier, Tisha was saying, and you probably addressed this, but she says, Rachel, I have the same question. I recently had the same struggle with my dog. How do we know when the right time is to let our pet go? And you were saying, it's, I want to mention earlier too, because I was trying to say that, and I wasn't sure if the time was right, but about soul contracts that we have with our pets. So there's really, the timing is like, when you're going, and when, and when the pet is going to go, it's going to go. So there's really no inappropriate time, I would say.
So soul contracts with pets are a little bit different than what soul contracts are with humans.
Mm-hmm.
And even though with a pet, it seems like we're the ones that have the last say.
Yeah.
They actually do.
They do, yeah.
They will be able to tell you. It's just a matter if we're willing to listen and be present with that decision. And so they definitely have their own lifespan. Phantom. Thank you, Karen. I'll get to Phantom in a second. And Domino. I'll get to Domino in a second as well, Aaron. When an animal comes into this world, they have their own soul contract. They have things that they want to accomplish. Yes, they're not worried about career and finances and all that sort of thing, but their focus is, how am I going to process love?
Mm.
How am I going to connect with the human and offer love that they understand, that they can grow with? And that's why a lot of times we consider our pets our children, is because that mission has been accomplished. And when that mission is accomplished, that doesn't mean, okay, it's accomplished, now it's time to leave. It's now we get to spend the quality time of learning and understanding and formulating a larger kind of love. And what the animals are trying to get us to do, and again, this is why I'm saying animals are much more intelligent than what we are, is they're trying to say, okay, you have that connection with me. Now go to that person and have that same connection. And actually, I just got something just came in through me for Rachel.
Okay.
I hope what I just said, Rachel, makes sense to you, because there's something to do with the connection about love, and I think it has a lot to do with Oliver. It's almost like the transfer from, and Oliver is her baby, and the reason why I know that is because Rachel's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
And
no, it's because you're psychic.
Although I've never, I know, and I'm psychic. Although I've never met her dog.
Okay.
But what is happening is that now that, and I'll just use Rachel as an example. Now that Rachel understands that unconditional love as she does with her child, her dog can now say mission accomplished. So there are key factors and key elements. And with Tisha, for example, with deciding whether or not with Lucy, it's not always about finding a replacement. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is finding another fur baby, to not to replace, but to continue the learning.
Okay.
And so with Tisha, for example, look at those keys. Like, where are you in life when it comes to loving yourself? And I love that name, Barb Ice. And how you can transfer the love to not only yourself but to other people around you. And that's what's gonna help you with your fur baby, and how that journey and when that journey will end one day. So there was Phantom.
Yes, Phantom.
With Karen, right?
Karen.
It was a pug, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Karen, did Phantom have some breathing issues just before he passed away?
And Karen, if you'd like to come and join Lewis on camera, I can put the link on the screen and you can join on camera, and you guys can go back and forth. That's probably better than chat if you're willing to come on camera.
Yeah.
If not, you can always come on with just your microphone, and but we could definitely include you in the broadcasts while we're waiting for your comment to come through.
Because there's something to do with breathing that just felt a little bit aspirated with Phantom, and it was more like shallow, and Phantom's perfectly fine now. Thankfully, with fur babies, once they transition to the other side, they heal a lot quicker than what it takes a human soul to heal from their Earth experience. But Phantom is a very, very bouncy dog. I can tell you that right now. Like, this pug seems to be having like Jack Russell in it somewhere, because he's just coming to me and he's just like all over. Like, he is just so excited to be able to talk to you through me. But he's just like bouncing off the walls like a Mexican jumping bean. So yes, he is absolutely okay, and he does want to send you love, and it's very much about hi Annabella, I'm doing great, how are you? So yeah, he is totally fine. So
okay.
Another one.
So I didn't get a response from Karen about when you were asking about the breathing issue.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
But we can go ahead and move on to our next question.
Sure.
We have several that are actually pending here. So Lori's asking, is my black lab around me or my granddaughter? She misses her so much, and we hope she watches over my pups now. I hope I did right by my girl. It's been 10 years, and I still wonder.
Very, very, very friendly disposition. Holy moly. Your lab thought it was human. Very big part of the family. This is how I read. So I ask confirming questions just to get the energy. But it seems to me like your granddaughter used to hug your lab in a very special way, just between the lab and the granddaughter, but yet the granddaughter was the only one that could actually do it that way. And so there is a definite connection between your lab with your granddaughter, Lori, even to this day. And like I said, it's very much about that connection is very strong still. In fact, there's also something to do with, like, sometimes you smell your lab, even to this day. It's not very often, but every once in a while it's kind of like, that's familiar, and that's who it is. It's your lab coming through and saying, hey. Yeah, there you go. So she did answer. Good.
All right. So we were asking earlier about Aaron. Aaron was saying, love to know how our Domino is doing if my dog Bandit sees him or senses him.
Domino reminds me of like a 50s kind of Frank Sinatra crooner. Domino had this swagger and was like, it's all about me. It's, I'm top dog kind of thing. Like, it was this attitude, fun attitude, but still attitude. And it's very much about, with your new dog, definitely Domino likes to come around. In fact, Domino kind of like is like the drill sergeant. It's like, I'm still in charge. I may not be here, but I'm still in charge. And so you're going to do, is that the dog? Because there's a few dogs around me right now. Does Bandit, Aaron, does Bandit have some tendencies every once in a while like Bandit did? And it's like very random, where it's just kind of like, how'd you know that? Or how did you, like, that sort of thing. Because every once in a while, it seemed to me like Domino just says, like, whispers in his ear going, do this, and just for shits and giggles. And then Bandit does, and, Domino's on the other side just laughing its arse off. So it's top dog, like, totally, like, I'm in charge. I'm still number one. So.
All right. So let's move on to our next question. We have Natalie, and she says, we lost our cat Foxy last year, and I still can't get over it. Missing him so much, and I'm wondering if he has forgiven me. He was the most special pet we've ever had. I miss all that unconditional love that he was giving me, and I wish that I could have done more for him on his last few days.
Foxy is saying, what are you talking about? Why do you think that I hold any kind of blame towards you? And it's almost like if Foxy was human, Foxy would be doing this to you. He'd be finger wagging you. Like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? There is nothing from Foxy that has any kind of upset or any ill-willed energy towards you. Like, Foxy was in your life for a reason, and mission accomplished. And just because you had to make decisions doesn't mean they were the wrong decisions. And I don't know if this makes sense to you or not, Natalie, but it's I don't know if you feel if there's a sense of abandonment on some level, and this could be because you miss Foxy, but he's given me the indication of there's an abandonment kind of vibe, and that he's very much about closing that gap where there is no abandonment. There's just like you said in your question about the unconditional love that exists even with him from the other side.
Okay. All right. I think we have Kelly in the lobby. I'm not seeing her video right now, but I know she had a question earlier, and she says,
Okay.
Is my dog, Dennis, still around us? When I decided to put him down, things didn't go easy in the euthanasia process. So let me see if I can get her on, and at least we can hear her. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Decided to put him down. Okay, Kelly, go ahead and mute your audio playback and just
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Kelly.
We do.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
We just hear a background noise.
Yeah, you have to turn down your volume on your computer.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Kelly. We do.
How are you? All right, let me just work on that.
Okay, just go ahead and do that, and then we'll bring it back up. Okay. All right.
Now that's one thing that that John and I know about when you do live broadcast. The feedback from your own personal device goes into the recording device.
So it's best for you to wear headphones if you can, or a headset like we are. But even then,
if you can, and if you don't have one, that's fine too. Just turn down your volume so that it doesn't have that feedback, because everyone hears the feedback.
Yeah, so let's bring her up again and see if she's fixed that issue. Kelly, you with us?
Just turn down your volume. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to communicate with text right now, because that would be crazy for you to try to read through that.
With the euthanasia, with the putting down process, I don't know if the lab person, the technician person, didn't give enough fluid, enough gas. Like there's something going on with the twitching, and he transitioned and that sort of thing. It just took him longer. And there was, I'm not sure if you were in the room or not. I don't know if you were or not. That doesn't matter though, because he's saying that he felt he felt you, like there you go, Aaron, thank you. He felt your crying, like he felt your emotion, and it's he said that he was passing out. It just took him a lot longer to fade out. Okay, and so it was, so Kelly's response to, was she in the room? She was, until it became too brutal. And to me it feels like that someone didn't judge it properly. It's kind of like when we get anesthesia to go under, there was something like that wasn't, there was something that was missing from that process, a miscalculation on some level. But he said it just took a lot longer, and that he kept feeling like he was fading and fading and fading and fading, not necessarily in the pain that his body was experiencing, because it feels to me like he kind of already resorted to, okay, this is it, I'm going to separate. Even though my body will still be breathing, I'm going to separate from that experience.
Yeah.
And he was like watching above, even though he was technically still living.
Okay. Yeah.
And so his soul didn't feel what the physical body of him was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very unfortunate that had to happen to him, because it was brutal. Like he's showing me of what they were trying to do to correct it, and it just wasn't working.
Right.
And
but he wasn't in body, so
he wasn't in body, so
he was just watching from above.
He was watching from above. He already separated. Like his soul left the body, even though the body was still breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And he says there's nothing to forgive. He says, you made the right choice. It wasn't your fault what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, please don't feel guilt.
Yeah. And I think that's what all of our loved ones want us to know, is never to feel guilt, that they're in a special place. They're in a place of love and a place of no negativity, right? So even our fur babies as well. I mean, that's what we're focusing on today. And that's just what so many people feel. They feel so guilty if they weren't there for the passing. They feel guilty if something went wrong during the passing. And it's just,
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, like you said, the body is still there, but the soul is outside of the body and not feeling, because they've already reached that contract point where it's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we have some more that came through. And I know we're running over time, but we're making up for the time where the broadcast was a little wonky. So so as long as your energy is up, Louis,
I'm still good. Let's do a couple more, and then we can let these beautiful people get on with the rest of their evening.
And Susan was saying earlier, each dog I've put down, I felt their soul rise, but my cat Sanchez, I didn't feel anything at all. Why?
Sanchez. Oh, interesting. Sanchez lingered, not because Sanchez didn't understand that of the transition that just went through, but it was almost like, I want to make sure you're okay, so I'm going to linger. And so the soul, even though detached and is free to go wherever it wants to go, Sanchez decided to hang around.
Yeah.
And just make sure that everything was cleaned up. And most souls are like, see ya, I'm out of here. I'm going back home. I'm going to go have a pina colada. Done. But Sanchez wanted to make sure that you and then another female was okay. So that's why you didn't feel Sanchez rise and transition, is because Sanchez just hung around, played in the corner kind of thing. So yeah, but totally fine. Has transition, loving life on the other side. Sanchez is in a good space. There was one from Jason, I think I saw somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still in the room. I was looking to see, and I don't know if he's still there, because we were going to bring him up on stage too and see. But I can go back to the question, and you can give the answer. It's right here. My childhood dog Stars came to me in a dream to communicate to me, to give me a message about our new family dog Domino. Again, another dog.
Domino.
Stars let me know, without using words, obviously, to be nicer to Domino. I wasn't treating Domino the same exactly, because Stars was my true childhood dog with me from the time that I was 3 years old.
It's kind of like when you ask a parent that has multiple children, who's your favorite? And they're like, no, they're all my favorite. Whatever. Yes, we all love our children, but we can love them with love in different ways of love, just like our fur babies. And so, but it's almost like Stars was trying to kind of put you in line, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of like, don't you be, any different. Like, smarten up here. You have an opportunity to keep doing this. Don't, be putting my face on this dog's body kind of thing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you give it equal amounts of attention and love, just like you did to me. That's part of the karmic lesson.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So if he's not in the room, he'll hear it later on the replay. And that's when I will remind folks that this will live on Lewis's videos page, so you can, and also on his YouTube, so you can go back and review. Robin is asking a question again about guilt. Does my cat Tasha forgive me for what she went through in the decision that I made? And then we have Aaron coming up next.
It's like, I don't know if this was like broken bones or broken spirit or something to do with like a disconnect, and not necessarily a disconnect in the way that we disconnect from someone else, but there's a disconnect on some level with this. And it's almost like it felt like I can't deal with it, so I'm going to shut down. That's probably where the disconnect's coming from. But it seems to me like I am not picking up any kind of like negativity from your loved one that way. Like I don't feel it or see it. It seems to me like that little precious fur baby was sent with light and love. So yeah, and that's how it was received on the other side, with light and love. So nope, no reason to feel guilty.
Okay, all right. So Aaron's constantly.
Good. It's like my aunt. One of my aunts, she has a Rottweiler, and he's the biggest. Actually, she's had 3 since getting pets, and they all have been the biggest lap dogs, and the friendliest of dogs that I've ever really been encountered with. But yeah, Finn just absolutely loves to love you, but is jealous. Finn has a little bit of jealousy with someone around you. So when you and Finn are hanging out, it's all about Finn. And so Finn wants to get in your face. And just to remind you, listen, I'm number 1. So it's all good, but definitely Finn is a suck. And you probably treat Finn like a suck.
All right. So let's see here. Our animal psychic was Callie. That's what Barbara is asking.
Yes and yes. Animals are extremely intuitive psychic. They, like I said earlier at the top, they know when we're not feeling well. And they need to come in. Like cats, for example, will purr because cat purrs, their frequencies are in tuned with what kind of environment or condition that their human feeder is going through. And so cats have a different tendency of or have different frequencies of purring depending what you need.
Wow.
And even with dogs don't purr, obviously, but dogs are also very psychic because, like, for example, my grandparents used to have a dog named Joe, and my grandfather would work shifts. So he was never, it was never 9 to 5. He was always on a shift. But Joe always knew, like 15, 20 minutes before my grandfather would show up in the driveway. Like he would get into this habit of starting to go to the window and start looking out the window and waiting for him. He knew no matter what shift my grandfather was on, about 20 minutes before he would show up. And that's what dogs do. Dogs go into these things where it's almost like they can smell like change. And because their sensories are very much about the sight, the eyes, and the hearing, they are able to tap into that psychic level with a shift in energy. It's kind of like, how I tap into it. It's like a ticker tape parade going through my head of information. That's what dogs are like with their perceptions, with their hearing, smelling, and their sight. So yes, they're definitely psychic, and Callie was too, very psychic.
All right. So we have another question. Tanya earlier had said, "Hi, Lewis. I asked earlier when you weren't taking questions. Just curious if you sense any animals around me. I've lost some and I miss them terribly." Tanya.
You are like Noah's Ark, Tanya. You have quite a few. And it, what, in something like Georgia said earlier about how animals are attracted to Georgia, very much the same for you, Tanya, where random animals, even mosquitoes, for example, love you. And mosquitoes may not be a necessary good thing to have to love, but animals just seem to get your energy. It just seems to get the vibe that you're really there for them. Mm-hmm. And so you have quite a few, three altogether, it seems to me like. But there's one or two besides the three that maybe not yours, but you were connected to or associated with through someone else.
Okay.
So, like I said, you're like Noah's Ark. You just attract.
And Erin was saying earlier, when you say her dog was jealous, and she says, yes, he is jealous of my 17-year-old bandit and wants all the attention. So there you go. You picked that one up. All right. So Andrea, who was up with us earlier, says, cool, I love it when animals are there to help the owners cross over. Mm-hmm. And Georgia says, I remember when Grandma lived with us and Marley used to go berserk every night. It was so uncanny.
Yep. Yeah. And that's just like, it's almost like a warning call, like, for example, with Marley and your grandmother, mm-hmm. Not warning as far as watch out, but warning as far as like, almost like a warning shot where it's like, everything's okay? Mm-hmm. That sort of thing.
And Donna's saying, hi, Lewis. I've had cats for many years. I've loved them all with my heart, or with all my heart. And I was wondering if they are all getting along. Do they know that I miss them?
Yeah, they do get along, and we, like I said from the top, we are able. The animals cohabitate with animals and humans, and mm-hmm. Just like when a spouse that has just recently passed away is reunited with a spouse that has passed away long before, they're able to connect with one another just like animals can, and they're all hanging out. There's one that likes to climb, though, more than the others. I mean, yeah, there's something to do about perching himself up higher than the rest, and is kind of like, nah, I'm gonna protect my territory, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's a big game for them. So
okay. Yeah. So Tanya was saying, thank you. My lab passed 9 years ago, and I miss him every day. So, yeah. Amy was saying, hi, Lewis. I'm wondering what I can do to connect with Cedar better. I miss my Phoebe so much, and I feel like I am not connecting enough with Cedar. I want it to be the best that I can be for him.
Cedar is another example of what we were talking about with that kind of like replacement kind of animal. Mm-hmm. You chose Cedar to come into your world, and it may not have been and by no means is this a mistake, because this is human nature, but you might have chosen Cedar to come in too quickly without having a little bit more time of healing from Phoebe. But this is Cedar can do his own thing. Like it's like, I'm gonna get to you. I just know it's gonna take time, so I'm just gonna do this in the meantime until you're ready for me. So it's not like you have to do something more or get a bigger treat or whatever the case may be. My cat loves anything Velcro. and she's chewing on the Velcro tab for my lighting system.
Oh no!
And
maybe she was chewing on your USB cable.
No, she doesn't touch cables. She likes tissue, Velcro, and tape. She likes to lick the glue off the tape.
The little crunchy stuff.
All the crunchy stuff. So with Cedar's just basically saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm ready whenever you are." But don't worry. Don't be concerned. You know, there's still enough time for us to do what we have to do. It's just, you know, I'm going to hang out and I'm going to just be Cedar. And you're going to learn my quirks, my foibles, and all that sort of thing as we get to know each other more. So there's patience with Cedar. Don't feel any kind of strain that you have to connect. The connection's going to happen a different way than what you did with Phoebe. So let it be natural.
All right, let it be natural. All right, so Lori is saying, can you feel if something is wrong with someone's pup they have, or just pets that have passed? I think I might be over paranoid, Lori's saying.
If it's one of your pups, Lori, it almost feels to me, and not that it is, but it's like there's a pup that you have that isn't a runt of the litter, but might have a tendency of, like, for example, the runt's usually a little bit smaller, might be a little bit weaker, might need a little bit more assistance in the beginning, for example, with feeding and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong. It's almost like a child that doesn't speak until like 6 or 7 years old. It just feels like one of your pups has this stubbornness about him, and it's going to be more like when I'm ready. So don't be paranoid. I think it's just one day you'll be like, dun, 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 here I am, and off we go.
All right, so we have about 5 more minutes remaining because we went into overtime because of the technical rumblings that we were having earlier. And we want to thank you so much for your patience and for all your questions. And we do want to encourage you to get your audio and your video working so you can join Lewis on, and then he can interact with you. It's fun to do it through chat, but it's even more fun when you're can be seen and heard. So just let us know if you need any help with that next time before the broadcast, and we'll do our best to get you all set up. So again, we do appreciate you joining us tonight, and we do hope that we got to majority of your questions. I know there's been quite a few that have been coming through here on the stream pretty quickly. And if there are any last minute questions that maybe we have missed, please repost them, and in the next 5 minutes we'll try to get to them. But we will be back next week, right, Lewis? Same time, same place.
With Sharita Star, the astrologer.
With Sharita, yes. And she's going to be talking all about Mercury retrograde, the big doozy Mercury coming up, and really that can be a good and it's all about perception with Mercury, I think, because Mercury's all about right? So reconnecting, reviewing, rewiring.
Rewiring. Yeah.
It's really, it has a lot to do with is it the prefix or what is it when you have re in front? That's what I think with the retrograde, right? So whenever Mercury comes around, you always have to look at your tech stuff. You have to look about people coming back into your life that haven't been in quite a while, reviewing contracts and
goals,
not signing new ones.
Right. Yes. Don't buy any furniture or large appliances.
Yeah.
Or expensive appliances. So, and don't forget about the
special
ultimate reading. Right.
Yes.
So with the ultimate $50 off for the month of August, this August coming up, and in the gift certificate area, when you fill out your information, just put Pets in Heaven or something to that effect, or podcast or whatever, and you'll receive $50 off the ultimate session only. And then, as well as, we're going to post this. We're going to post this to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/LewisMabee, and subscribe, like, comment. And when you do all 3 actions, you'll get 3 votes towards the next healing session that I will do. Vera has won the first one, and I'll be in contact with Vera.
Congratulations, Vera.
And congratulations, Vera. But please, 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 it's so important for me. this is all new to me, and
Yeah.
I'm learning the ropes, and I don't have my stride yet, and I know I'm getting better with each podcast.
This
and
is like your third
patience.
episode, so
This
give
is my
yourself
third
some
episode.
credit. Be easy with yourself, and
I know,
we're
but
enjoying this.
you know
Look
what?
what Lori says. Thank you so much, Lewis. You're amazing. You made me feel better that my girl is healthy. I've been worried. She's 9. My boy is like you described. So there you go. Thank you, Lori. All right, so I know we had Barb, and this will be our last question for the night. So we have Barb saying, Lewis, I once had a husky named Ice. Unfortunately, he was shot because they thought he was a wolf. Wow. Beautiful animal, and he was. Does he know I looked for him for a long time? Thank you, Barb. Oh, there's Cleo.
Cleo is tuning in.
She's tuning in.
That's what she does.
Uh-huh.
And she's making her way over here. She has to stretch first.
Get her over here.
Ice.
There she is. Oh.
Yes. Ice passed fairly quickly, but not right away. But yet wasn't like, I don't know if there was a cover up or something like that, or that it wasn't brought to your attention right away. But it seems to me like Ice was somewhat kind of like abandoned for a bit, or not found, and or noticed. But it does feel like Ice doesn't have any ill will towards you, and knew that you were definitely looking out for him, and wanted to say thank you for trying, even though he said that you kind of suspected something like that happened. He says thank you though for trying to make sure, and that he's still with you. And did he again, this is just how I do readings, but it seems to me like he's looking for meat, like he's looking like he was a carnivore. He liked his meat, so he's eating meat. So
okay,
yeah,
all
but
right.
he's totally fine.
All right. Well, thank you guys for all of your questions.
Thank you. I'm so blessed to have you all in my life.
We had a great crowd tonight, and we look forward to building it as we do more and more of these broadcasts. And please be sure to share the video. Click on share, then go into the comments and tag a friend. So how you do that, you just hit the @ sign, and then you type in the friend's name, and then that will show up in the comments so that we can see that you actually shared it with a friend. And because when you share sometimes on Facebook, due to the Facebook privacy, we cannot see who shared.
Right.
So if you put in comments that you shared it with the friend, so you go, I shared with the friend, and then you put @ and the friend's name, you'll tag that person, we'll know that you shared, and we'll enter you in for the drawing for the giveaway for next week. Just like we did earlier.
Yeah. And thank you, John, for Vera. And thank you, John, for helping out with these technical glitches.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad we got it worked out. And it's one of those things. It's a work in progress. And thanks everyone for their patience with us. And Facebook Live can be a little tricky sometimes.
And we're going to get the hang of it.
Yes.
Bigger and better things coming.
All right.
Join us next week as we talk with Sharita about Mercury retrograde. Until then, have a blessed week. Thank you for being part of my journey. And I will be looking forward to connecting with you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.